Hi, how you all doing? Just having an amazing day. So, I always like to introduce myself. I'm Ifeda Yosunswin, also known as Ife the Baker, your gluten-free guy, the guy that's always bringing you up-to-date information in the gluten-free space. So, we've been having some various discussions for some time now. So today we're going to be talking about oat flour. And for those that are in the gluten-free community, they always try to look out for options that they can use for their baking, for their cooking, and for other specialty dishes they would love to make. And so this platform is going to not just be discussing and showing you alternative flour. And when I mean alternative flour, I mean flours that you can use if you are allergic to anything that is wheat based. So we have discussed Fiono in our last YouTube chat. So today we're going to talk about oats. Then next week we're going to talk about coconut flour. You have a wide range of flours that you can use for your baking, for your cooking, for desserts, or anything you love to make. So today we're talking about oat flour, and I'm really intrigued about oat flour because oat flour is something that there's a tendency for us to just disregard it because it's common, it's readily available, though it is not produced. Sorry, though it's not grown in Nigeria, but you get it readily in Nigeria. I mean, it's something that a lot of us grew up with in terms of what we have for breakfast. So oat flour is such an amazing type of flour. It's gotten from your blended or your milled oat flakes. And then we have two types of oats. We have the rolled or stilled oats, which are more of the they're not as refined or they're not as fine as instant oats. Instant oats, that one is crushed. So that one for rolled oats, when you cook it, it still comes out as a bit of a solid texture. But for instant oat, that one has a more of a mushy texture. So those are the two types. Most times people prefer to go for the rolled oats because they feel that that one is not refined like the instant oats. So for oats, it's something that everyone can take. It's very, very healthy, it's nutrition dense, and that's why I love it so much. Another thing I have to mention is that for oats, even though it's gluten free, one has to be very careful when you are checking the packet because sometimes you have companies that even though they are producing oats, they also produce other gluten-free products. So there could be cross-contamination. So it's always advisable to you have to contact the producer that, okay, has this been produced in a facility free of oats, especially for those that are highly sensitive to any sort of gluten contamination. So you should watch out for that. So now, like I always say, I write my notes in my book so that we can give you good quality information. So one thing about oats that I love is because, like I said earlier, it is nutrition dense, very nutrient dense. It has your B1, yes, it has B5, yeah, and all these are good for your nerves. It has folate, and we all know folic acid. It helps with for women that are pregnant or women that are of childbearing age, especially when they are already pregnant. It helps to aid the proper development of the baby's spinal cord. Then, of course, it has your phosphorus, it has your manganese, it has iron in it, it has magnesium in it, which I must say, magnesium is very, very good for all of us, especially those of us that tend to have muscle cramps. Maybe those of you that go to the gym a lot and then you tend to discover that you tend to have some constrictions on your muscles. Oats is something that you should be taking regularly, especially when you're exercising, in case you don't want to go for maybe taking supplements or dietary pills. Then another beautiful thing about oats is that oats is very high in fiber. It has 13 grams of protein, 13 grams of carbohydrate for every 51 gram of oats flour. Then oats also, the beauty of the fiber in oats is that this fiber, which is called beta glucan, is very unique. Beta glucan does a lot of things. Beta glucan helps in improving insulin sensitivity. So insulin, or for the type 2, they have enough, but their body, there's a bit of an insulin resistance. So taking oats actually improves on your insulin, being resistant to the tissue so that the insulin can be taken in and then utilized to help manage your blood sugar levels. So, I mean, oats is something you should actually include in your diet. Then another good thing about oats that I find very intriguing is that it actually aids bile production. So, when they always say oats helps to lower your cholesterol level, a lot of people are like, how does oats help to lower my cholesterol level? So the beauty is when you take oats, it helps to aid bile production. Bile production actually is involved in the emulsification of fat. I know that your cholesterol are actually fat. So emulsification actually means that it improves on its absorption into the body for elimination. So, I mean, if you are someone that tends to have a high cholesterol or you are trying to watch your cholesterol level, oats is something you can introduce. Then, of course, because it aids in managing your cholesterol level, it's also cardioprotective on you. Then, oats is rich in an antioxidant called avenatryamides. Avenatryamides, it's very fantastic. It has antioxidant properties, it has anti-inflammatory properties. Then the thing about evanternamide is that it helps in the release of what we call nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, it's a sort of compound that helps to dilate the blood vessels. So when it dilates the blood vessels, it improves on blood flow. And the challenges with people that are hypertensive is that they tend to have, the blood flow is constricted, maybe because of atherosclerosis or maybe because of the narrowing of the blood vessels. So when your blood vessels are dilated, blood flow will improve. And when blood flow improves, blood flow will increase to the brain, to the lungs, to other various tissues. And of course, along the line, it would aid in preventing blood clots from forming or plaques in the vessels. So it's very, very good for those that are hypertensive and those that are prone to maybe having clots, in their vessels. Then oats is another beautiful item that is included in some skincare products. And why is that? Because they discovered that when you apply oats, especially what they call the formulated type, they call colloidal oats. When they apply colloidal oats to the skin, it improves on moisture, and it also helps to relieve serious cases of itching or inflammation. So it's really found mostly in children's formulations, especially babies that their skins are tender, they are prone to having dermatitis, maybe because of their food intake. So buying products that, or let me put this, buying skin formulations that have oats included in them, it really helps to calm the skin down, reduce irritations. Then the research also discovered that when a child from 6 months it's already introduced to oats as part of their meal plan, it reduces the chances of childhood asthma. So and that's one thing that is really prevalent in our society, that a lot of children, they develop asthma, whether it's genetic, hereditary, or the environment. So including oats in one's diet actually reduces the chances of your child developing childhood asthma. Then, apart from just all this I've said, oats is such a delicious tool, or not tool basically, but it's such a amazing ingredient that you can use to prepare so many things. You can use it for your quick like the porridges. You can use it for making your granolas. Granolas that a lot of people are using for their breakfast, and you can use it to make your cookies. Like for me now that I formulate a lot of gluten-free cookies, gluten-free cakes and pastries, oats is something I've actually included in some of my baked goods. Then oats also can actually be used, especially for those in the African region that we take solids, or some people term them swallow. So people can actually prepare it like you prepare your semo, your amala, your plantain swallow. So it's something else that you can also use for a, and it's mostly for those that they're trying to watch their diet, they're trying to manage their health. And of course, oats also has it has a very low glycemic index. So meaning that when you consume oats, it's not going to spike up your blood sugar level. So it's absorbed gradually into the system. So that's all that I have for you today on our oats. I would love to have your opinions. What are the flours, what kind of flours you love me to talk about? Like I'm saying this from Nigeria, and because of the peculiarities of our own community or our own society, that's why I'm trying to ensure that people have an option to what they can use to bake, especially when they have children on a gluten-free diet or a gluten-free regimen. And it will also help them to read labels. Sometimes when you go shopping, some people are like confused that, okay, I'm reading this pack now, it doesn't say which flour, but are there anything that is in it that I should be aware of? So this how I'm enlightening you. You'll be able to know that, oh, okay, Mr. Ife the baker, the gluten-free guy, has already told me that, okay, oats are safe, but I must ensure that on the package it's written that it was produced in a gluten-free environment. Or you can actually even contact them if it's not written in the pack. You can contact them. Oh, okay, I want to give my child who has gluten sensitivity oats flour. Is it possible that this oat was produced in a gluten-free environment? And they'll be able to give you their feedback. So please do share this with your friends. And on my channel, I would love to have you subscribe and also click on the share button. Let people know about this information. A lot of people are so in the dark; they don't know the options that are readily available for them. And they keep. So sometimes a lot of people don't even know that the issues that they are facing, the health challenges, is as a result of food allergies. So let's even start with letting people identify the things they cannot take, and then the substitutes they can take. So it will be such an awesome time to keep educating you guys, because we all have to live our best life. So till we speak to you, or till I speak to you, this is me signing off and saying, enjoy your health.